What's up? I'm Lily. Revenge Crown brings you the stories that keep you hooked. If that sounds good, smash subscribe and let's go. Actually, let me back up to the beginning of Christmas dinner, the moment when everything crystallized. My sister Nicole sat at Mom's elaborately decorated dining table, showing off her new Cartier bracelet. "Derek surprised me," she said, waving her wrist so the diamonds caught the light. "Early Christmas present. He knows I deserve nice things." Mom beamed. "You've always had such good taste, sweetheart." I sat across from them in my 5-year-old sweater, eating prime rib I hadn't paid for, saying nothing. "Marcus," Mom said, turning to me. "Nicole mentioned she and Derek are looking at lake houses. Wouldn't it be nice if you could contribute to a family vacation property? I know you can't afford it alone, but even a small investment would show you're trying." "I'm good, thanks," I said. Nicole laughed, that particular laugh that had haunted me since childhood. Imagine being too broke to help your own family. "I mean, what do you even do with your money, Marcus?" "Such a disappointment," Mom agreed, shaking her head. "Your sister manages to be generous despite her expenses, and you can't even help with a family property." I smiled, reached for my phone, and opened my banking app. Not to show them, just to remind myself why I was really here. Why I'd driven 3 hours to sit through this performance one final time. The screen showed a number they'd never seen, $847,293. But let me rewind further. To 4 years ago, when this whole thing started. I'd just gotten promoted to Senior Systems Architect at TechCore Solutions. The salary jump had been significant from $95,000 to $160,000. I'd celebrated quietly. Not mentioning the raise to my family because I'd learned years ago that my financial business became their financial plans. 2 weeks after the promotion, Mom called. "Marcus, I have wonderful news. Your father and I are finally upgrading the house. New kitchen, new bathrooms." "That's a lot of money, Mom." "Well, Nicole's already agreed to pay $20,000. Surely you can match that. You've been working for years now. You must have savings." I'd had savings. About $43,000 I'd been carefully building. But something in her tone, the assumption, the entitlement made me pause. "I'll think about it," I said. "Think about it? Marcus, this is your family home, where you grew up. Don't be selfish." I ended up contributing $20,000. My savings dropped to $23,000. Nicole's contribution. I later learned from Dad when he'd had too much wine, had actually been $5,000. The rest was promised for later. That promise never materialized. 6 months after the renovation, Nicole called asking for a $10,000 loan. "Just temporary," she said. "Derek's between commissions and we're a little tight. You know, I'm good for it." I sent the money. Never saw it again. A year later, Mom needed $8,000 for a medical emergency that turned out to be elective cosmetic surgery. "You're not going to let your mother suffer, are you?" I sent the money. Dad's car broke down, actually. It was old and he wanted a newer model. Just $12,000 to help with the down payment. "You make good money now, Marcus." I sent the money. Nicole's wedding came. Despite having a $70,000 budget, she asked me to cover the photographer $6,500 as my gift to her. "Since you're not in the wedding party anyway," I paid it. Each time, I'd told myself, this is what family does. This is what being successful means. Helping the people you love. But somewhere around the 3rd year of this pattern, I started noticing things. Nicole's Instagram showed constant vacations, designer purchases, luxury dinners. Yet she was always tight on money when family obligations arose. Mom and Dad drove new cars, took European river cruises, renovated their already renovated kitchen again. Yet they needed help with their property taxes. And I lived in a modest apartment, drove a 2015 Honda, and brought my lunch to work while they called me disappointing for not contributing to a lake house. That's when I started documenting everything, every request, every transfer, every loan that became a gift, every investment that only I actually funded. The spreadsheet grew. Asterisk home renovation, $20,000 asterisk Nicole's loan, $10,000. Asterisk mom's surgery, $8,000 asterisk dad's car, $12,000 asterisk. Wedding photographer, $6,500 asterisk mom's emergency, roof repair. $7,800 asterisk Nicole's business startup funds. $15,000 asterisk family vacation I couldn't attend but helped fund. $4,200. Asterisk various smaller emergencies. $18,700 total. $102,200 over 4 years. None of it acknowledged. None of it repaid. All of it expected. But here's what they didn't know. I'd also been saving aggressively. Every dollar that didn't go to them went into investments, index funds, retirement accounts. A brokerage account that grew steadily while I lived below my means. My apartment cost $1,400 monthly. I could have afforded $3,000. I drove an old paid-off car. I bought clothes at outlet stores. I skipped the fancy dinners and expensive hobbies. And I invested, relentlessly. By the time Christmas dinner arrived, my portfolio had grown to $847,293, not including my 401k and pension, just liquid, accessible investments. I was, by any objective measure, wealthy. They thought I was broke, and I decided to keep it that way. At Christmas dinner, after Nicole's comment about me being too broke to help, I excused myself to the bathroom. On the way, I texted my bank manager, Sharon Mitchell, who'd become something of a confidant over the years. Me, they're doing it again. Time to execute the plan. Sharon, are you absolutely sure? This will cause significant disruption. Me, I've never been more sure. Sharon, I'll have everything ready Monday morning. 9 a.m. at the branch. I returned to dinner. Endured another hour of comments about my modest lifestyle and lack of generosity. Then drove home through the dark, empty highways. The plan had been forming for 6 months, ever since Nicole had asked me to co-sign on a new luxury SUV lease and called me useless when I declined. It was simple, really. Just information, just truth. But it would shatter everything they believed about our family dynamics. Monday morning, I arrived at First National Bank at 8:50 a.m. Sharon met me in the lobby, her expression professional but knowing. "Are you ready for this?" she asked. "Show me what you've prepared." In her office, she pulled up several screens. "As we discussed, I've prepared a comprehensive financial summary. Your current holdings, your investment performance, your net worth trajectory. Everything documented and verified. Your part? The accounts you've been funding." She clicked to another screen. "I've documented every transfer from your accounts to your family members over the past 4 years. Dates, amounts, stated purposes, it's all here." I reviewed the documents. They were clear, factual, and devastating. "When do you want to send it?" Sharon asked. "Now." She composed an email on my behalf, professional, neutral, just stating facts. The recipients: Mom, Dad, Nicole, and Nicole's husband, Derek. The subject line: Financial Clarity, from Marcus Thompson. The body was simple: Dear family, I'm writing to provide transparency about our financial interactions over the past 4 years. Attached you'll find documented records of all monetary transfers I've made. Total amount provided, $102,200 additionally. I'm including my current financial summary, prepared by my bank manager, to clarify any misconceptions about my financial capacity. I've decided I will no longer be able to provide financial assistance moving forward. This decision is final. Best regards, Marcus. The attachments included: 1. 4 years of documented transfers to family members. 2. My current investment portfolio summary showing $8,472,933. A net worth statement. 4. Projected financial trajectory showing millionaire status by age 42. Sharon hovered over the send button. Last chance to reconsider. Send it, she clicked. My phone stayed silent for exactly 47 minutes. Then it exploded. Nicole, 9:47 a.m. What the hell is this? Mom, 9:52 a.m. Marcus, call me immediately. There must be some mistake with these numbers. Dad, 10:03 a.m. Your mother is very upset. These documents can't be accurate. Nicole, 10:15 a.m. You've had almost $1 million this whole time and you let me think you were struggling. What is wrong with you? Mom, 10:34 a.m. I don't understand. If you have this money, why haven't you been helping more? Why do you live like you're poor? Derek, 10:41 a.m. Dude, this is seriously messed up. You've been playing poor while your family actually needed help? I silenced my phone and went to work. By lunch, 63 missed calls and texts. I read through them in my car. Eating the sandwich I'd packed from home, a habit they'd mocked as poverty behavior. The messages evolved in stages. First, disbelief. Mom, these numbers can't be real. You drive a Honda. Then, anger. Nicole, you're a liar. You've been lying to us for years. Then, justification. Mom, if you had this money, you should have been helping more. We're your family. Then, demands. Nicole, you owe me. I've been struggling while you hoarded money. You owe all of us. Finally, guilt. Mom, how could you watch your sister stress about money while you sat on nearly $1 million? What kind of brother are you? I responded once at 3 p.m. I provided $102,200 over 4 years while living modestly to build my future. I was never obligated to provide more. I'm not obligated to provide anything moving forward. This conversation is over. The response was immediate and vicious. Nicole, you're dead to me. Mom, I didn't raise you to be this selfish. Dad, you've broken your mother's heart. Tuesday brought a new development. Sharon called me at work. Marcus, your mother came to the bank this morning. She wanted to know if the documents were authentic. What did you tell her? The truth. That they were prepared by me, verified and accurate. She asked if there was any way you were required to share those assets with family. I explained that no, your assets are your own. How did she respond? She cried. Then she asked if I could talk to you about reconsidering your decision. I told her that would be inappropriate and that your financial decisions are your own. Thank you, Sharon. Marcus, one more thing. She mentioned something about you having a moral obligation to help your sister buy a house now that you obviously can afford it. I want you to know, you never did. After we hung up, I sat at my desk staring at my computer screen, not really seeing it. I felt no guilt. No regret, just a profound sense of relief mixed with grief. Relief that the performance was over. Grief that my family's love had apparently been conditional on their perception of my usefulness. Wednesday, my Aunt Linda called Mom's sister. I almost didn't answer. Marcus, I'm not calling to lecture you. Then why are you calling? To say I'm on your side. I almost dropped my phone. What? Your mother called me sobbing about your betrayal. So I asked her to explain. Marcus, when she told me you'd given them over $100,000 while they called you disappointing. I told her she should be ashamed. You did? I've watched Linda and Nicole treat you like their personal their sin for years. I've bitten my tongue because it wasn't my place. But this? You worked hard, saved smart, and they rewarded you by mocking your modesty while demanding more. No, you did the right thing. We talked for an hour. She told me stories I'd never heard about how Mom had always played favorites, about Nicole's entitlement, about patterns that went back generations. You're not the villain here, Linda said. You're just the first person who stopped playing their game. 1 week after sending the email, the calls had reduced to a trickle. They were beginning to realize I wasn't engaging. But the family group chat I'd been muted in had apparently exploded. Linda sent me screenshots. Nicole, Marcus has almost $1 million and woe unhelp me with a $30,000 house down payment. That's evil. Mom, I don't know what happened to him. He used to be so generous. Uncle Pete. Maybe he got tired of being taken advantage of? Mom, whose side are you on? Uncle Pete. The side that thinks a 34-year-old man shouldn't have to fund his family's lifestyle choices. Aunt Linda, Marcus gave you $102,000. How much more did you expect? Marcus. Nicole, he has it. That's the point. Family shares. Aunt Linda. No, family respects boundaries. Marcus doesn't owe you his retirement fund. The chat dissolved into arguments. Half the family took my side, half took theirs. I left the group entirely. 2 weeks after the email, Nicole sent a different kind of message. I talked to a financial advisor. She said I need to stop relying on other people's money and build my own wealth. She said I'm 32 and have nothing saved. That's embarrassing. I'm not apologizing because I don't think I did anything wrong. But I'm not asking for money anymore either. I didn't respond, but I felt something shift. Not forgiveness, just acknowledgement that maybe she was starting to understand. 3 weeks after the email, Mom called from a number I didn't recognize. I answered out of curiosity. Her voice was strained. I'm calling from Linda's phone because you blocked me. What do you want? I want to understand. If you had this money, why did you live like you were struggling? Why did you make us think you couldn't help more? I never said I couldn't help more. You assumed I was giving everything I had. I wasn't. I was building my future while helping my family. Apparently that wasn't enough. But you have so much. Mom, I gave you $102,200. I lived in a cheap apartment and drove an old car to save money. You called me disappointing for not giving more. How much would have been enough? $200,000. $500,000. All of it? Silence. That's what I thought, I said. There was never going to be enough. So I stopped playing. We're your family. Family doesn't mock each other for being responsible. Family doesn't take 6 figures and demand more while calling you broke. You didn't treat me like family. You treated me like a resource. I hung up. 1 month after the email, I sat with my financial advisor reviewing my year-end portfolio. You're up 18% for the year, James said, pulling up charts. At this trajectory, you'll hit 1 million by next summer. 7 figures at 34 years old, Marcus. That's exceptional. I should have stopped funding them sooner. You stopped when you were ready. That's what matters. He looked at me over his reading glasses. How are you feeling about everything? Free, I said. For the first time in 4 years, nobody's asking me for money. Nobody's making me feel guilty for having boundaries. Just free. My phone rarely rang anymore. The family had mostly accepted that I wasn't engaging. Nicole had started posting about building wealth from zero on social media, rewriting history. But whatever helped her move forward. Mom sent occasional texts that I left unread. Dad hadn't contacted me since the initial explosion. I'd started dating someone I met at a tech conference. Her name was Kendra, and when I told her about the family situation, she'd said, "Sounds like you chose your future over their comfort. That's not selfish. That's self-preservation." 2 months after the email, I got a letter in the mail, handwritten, from Dad. Marcus, your mother doesn't know I'm writing this. She's still angry. Nicole is still angry. But I've had time to think. I looked at those numbers again. $102,200 over 4 years. That's more than we ever had at your age. More than we probably deserved. I think we got comfortable seeing you as the responsible one who'd always help. We stopped asking if you wanted to help. We just expected it. I'm not asking for money. I'm not asking you to forgive your mother or sister. I'm just saying I understand now. And I'm sorry we made you feel like you had to choose between your future and our approval. Take care of yourself. Dad, I read the letter 3 times, put it in a drawer. Didn't respond, but I didn't throw it away either. 3 months after the email, my life had completely transformed. Portfolio value, $891,447. Stress level, minimal. Family demands, 0. Peace of mind, priceless. I'd upgraded my apartment not to something ostentatious, just something nicer with a better view. I'd taken a vacation to Japan, something I'd always wanted to do but couldn't afford, while funding my family. I'd started investing in myself. A nice espresso machine, quality running shoes, a gym membership at a place with great equipment. Not because I was trying to prove anything. Just because I could. 4 months after the email, I ran into Nicole at a coffee shop. She was alone, working on a laptop. Marcus, she said, looking up. Nicole, awkward silence. I'm taking online finance courses, she said finally. Trying to figure out how to actually build wealth instead of just spending it. That's good. I keep thinking about those statements. $102,200. I didn't realize how much that actually was. How many years of work that represented for you? It was a lot. I'm not ready to apologize. But I wanted you to know I'm trying to understand. I nodded and walked away. Maybe someday we'd rebuild something. Maybe not. Either way, I was okay. 6 months after the email, I sat in my apartment on a Saturday morning, drinking expensive coffee I'd made myself, watching the sun rise over the city. My phone was silent. My portfolio had crossed $900,000. My life was mine. No guilt trips. No demands, no performance of poverty to avoid family expectations. Just peace. The morning light filled my living room. My coffee was perfect. My calendar was mine. My money was mine. My future was mine. I'd been called the poor one, the disappointing one, the selfish one, but I was the free one. And I'd never go back.